Here at Unity Spiritual Center, Denver, and today is the 30th day of Lent. And today I am continuing with my Lenten series based on the book Keep a True Lent by Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore. And today's lesson is entitled Divine Judgment. Our scripture lesson today comes from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 6, verses 37 through 49. So I will begin with the scripture lesson. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you get back. So let me just stop there for a moment and make a couple of comments. Sometimes this is interpreted, if you're more traditional, interpreted that if you don't judge other people, then God will not judge you. We don't certainly believe in a God that judges. How I would interpret this metaphysically is that whatever energy we are holding about ourselves or about another, that we are the ones who experience that energy. So if I'm holding energy of judgment about another, then I'm the one who's experiencing that negativity, that negative energy. Possibly the other person doesn't even have any idea that I'm holding any negative energy. They might, certainly if I share it with them, or they certainly might if I'm in their presence and I'm holding a judgmental energy, because again, it's energetics. We can feel the energy of ourselves and feel the energy of other people. So I would say it says, do not judge and you will not be judged. So if you do not judge, then you won't be experiencing judgment. If you don't condemn, then you're not experiencing condemnation. If you forgive, then you're experiencing the forgiveness for yourself. Now, I would say that if we think by not judging another that we're not going to be judged, I think that we're misleading ourselves. I just want to be truthful and honest about that. We can choose not to judge, and we can certainly be in that place of not judging, not condemning, and forgiving. But it doesn't automatically mean that somebody else in our lives is not going to judge us or condemn us or forgive us. So I think that's important for us to understand the distinction there, that it happens within us. Whatever we put out there, we experience it first. And it really resonates and lands in our energy field first. So we feel the effect of it. Whatever measure you give is the measure you get back, right? So it's not about if you give someone something, you're going to get something an equal return of that. I think it's just the give and receive happens immediately. What you give, you receive. What you give, you get, because you're the one who's putting it out there. Anyway, I'll stop with that. He also told them a parable. Can a blind person guide a blind person? Will not both fall into a pit? A disciple is not above the teacher, but everyone who is fully qualified will be like the teacher. Why do you see the speck in your neighbor's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? Or how can you say to a neighbor, friend, let me take out the speck in your eye, when you yourself do not see the log in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your neighbor's eye. So again, this lesson is about finding fault in other people. It's easy for us to find fault in other people, or to say what other people should or shouldn't be doing, or how they should be, rather than looking at ourselves. In the 12-step program, it's talking about, clean up your side of the street, first, and that it's not, you don't take somebody else's inventory, so to speak. You're responsible for yourself. And each of us is responsible for cleaning up our own act, so to speak, and for being in integrity in our own thoughts and words and actions. And if we can come into alignment with that, and we find that we can assist others, then we can offer that assistance. But again, sometimes what we do is that we want to project onto other people and make what's going on with us, we don't want to own it sometimes. We want to project it onto other people and find fault with them. So I think it's important for us anytime that we are finding fault with another person to just check in with ourselves and see if there might be something similar going on within us. If I find somebody is judgmental, so to speak, if I think somebody else is judgmental, then maybe it's time for me to look at myself and think, oh, am I being judgmental? Anyway, moving on to verse 43. No good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. Figs are not gathered from thorns, nor are grapes picked from a bramble bush. The good person out of the good treasure of the heart produces good, and the evil person out of an evil treasure produces evil. For it is out of the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaks. Great lesson, right? So I don't like the idea of being an evil person, but that when we are out of alignment with our true self, the Christ self, the true light that each of us is, then we can often speak or think or act in ways that are out of alignment with love and can appear to be evil or could be classified as evil. I don't think people are evil. I don't think there is a power for evil. I think that there is only love and a relative absence of the awareness of love within us. As I say that, I am thinking also of what happened in Boulder yesterday, the shooter in the grocery store who killed 10 people. We could say that that's an evil person. It's certainly a difficult thing for us to witness, certainly a difficult thing to not want to judge and project evil onto. I would say we don't know the full story, and we don't know who this person is or what his story is or where he was mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But to say that someone is evil, I think, again, is lowering our own vibration. So our opportunity, even though it may be challenging, is to be in the energy frequency of love, even in situations such as that. As we observe those kinds of situations, to do our best to be in the vibration, the energy of love, and to share love in that situation. Because we don't want to be adding fear. We don't want to be in fear. Again, when we're in fear, we're experiencing it. When we're in judgment, we're experiencing it. And when we are projecting that out to a person or a situation, then we're only adding that energy to that circumstance or to that person. So again, it may be challenging, but I think, I don't only think, I know that our opportunity as people who are choosing to embody our Christ nature, our opportunity is to be the presence of love in every situation and to do our best to see that energy of love in every situation. So I'll stop there for now. I'm going on into verse 46. Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do not do what I tell you? I will show you what someone is like who comes to me, hears my word, and acts on them. Excuse me. That one is like a man building a house who dug deeply and laid the foundation on rock. when a flood arose, the river burst again, and that house but could not shake it, because it had been built well. I can't even read. It had been well built. Okay. But the one who hears and does not act is like a man who built a house on the ground without a foundation. When the river burst against it, immediately it fell, and great was the ruin of that house. Now, very often we think of the house as metaphorically representing our own consciousness. So I think what Jesus is saying here is, if we hear these lessons, if we hear the truth, and just, why do you call me Lord, Lord? Why do you want to just think that I am the source, maybe? And you listen to the words, you listen to the teaching, you hear it, but you don't do anything about it. You don't use it to build your consciousness, and you don't use that to inform your thoughts and your words and your actions. And when you don't do that, that's like building a house, a consciousness on sand. When anything comes along that can have any way of disrupting that house, that consciousness, is just going to be, destroyed or taken back into a very heavy negative vibration. Again, I just want to, because it is so present, the events in Boulder, if we hear the words, we hear the truth, we don't build our consciousness of love and light and truth around the teachings that we hear from the master teacher, Jesus, then when things like that happen in our lives, then we are just crushed, and we're in judgment, and we're in fear, and everything just seems to fall apart for us. If we build the foundation, build the house on a strong foundation of truth, and knowing that we are the expression of that light and love, and that we trust and know that God, the source of love, is present in every situation, even though we can't always see it, then we can stand firm, and we can be love, and that house can stand strong on that foundation, no matter what may occur in the outer. So Jesus, I think, is saying, I can't do it for you. I can tell you, I can teach you, I can show you, I can be the example, but I can't do it for you. You, each and every one of you, must do it for yourself. You must build that foundation. You must build that consciousness so that you can withstand whatever happens in the world around you. So that's my sermon for today. All right. So let me move on now to Mr. Fillmore's lesson. And as I said, I think I said it's entitled Divine Judgment. And in our later understanding, we don't really use the word judgment as much. We use the word discernment or wisdom. So I would say maybe divine wisdom would be a better way to title this. Okay. Human judgment is the mental act of evaluating through comparison or contrast. The intellectual person always judges others. Divine judgment, or I would say divine wisdom, is of spiritual consciousness. When we awaken to the reality of our divinity, the light begins to break on us from within, and we know the truth. This is the quickening of our judgment faculty, or I'm going to again say wisdom faculty. This faculty may be exercised in two ways: from sense perception, and I would say appearance. Jesus also said, don't judge by appearance. Don't judge by what you think is happening, But go within, connect with spirit, connect with the Christ within, and then allow that to shift your perception. It is, if its action is based on sense, again, in parentheses, I'm going to add appearance, its conclusions are fallible and often condemnatory. If it's based on spiritual understanding, they are safe. Again, let's go back to the Boulder incident, tragedy yesterday. If we are looking at that from only what we think of in the mind and through appearances only, then we are going to be in personal judgment or sense judgment, as Mr. Fillmore says. But if we go within, connect with the Christ, the God within us, the life within us, allow that to be the place from which we choose to observe, the perspective from which we choose to observe, then we are using that wisdom power, divine wisdom, from a place of spiritual alignment and attunement. The judgment faculty, wisdom, discerns truth and balances the faculties in righteousness. Again, righteous thinking, right action. In the scriptures, judgment is often applied to the action of divine mind in its work of judging or deciding, especially to the experiences that come to one through the working of the law of justice. Again, you think about the story of Solomon, where he could have, prayed for wisdom. He prayed for discernment in his position of meting out justice. So, can we be in that place of discerning when we are in a situation of evaluating something, anything, or any situation? Mankind redeems this faculty by placing it in the absolute, by declaring and realizing that its origin is in God and all its conclusions are based on truth. This gives a working center from which the I am begins to set our thought world in order. So turning over, surrendering to the I am within us, the Christ within us, allowing that Christ to inform us, I believe is what Mr. Fillmore is saying. And when we can trust that, then all of our conclusions, all of our decisions, all of our discernments are based not on appearance only, but on the truth within. Going back to our lesson, I don't remember when it was, a few days ago, about faith. That faith, in holding faith, the truth that God is present in every situation, we can know that even though it may appear differently than we would prefer, that we can have the faith, exercise the power of faith, and know and trust that all is working toward the good of all concerned. All right, I know that's hard to hear, and especially in this situation. Mr. Fillmore says, I do not judge others as regards their guilt or innocence. I consider myself and how I stand in sight of the Father. I begin reform with myself. The judgment seat of Christ is within me, and a judging or discerning between the true and the false is going on daily in me as an overcomer. I am daily reaping the results of my thoughts and my deeds. So again, begin with yourself. Don't be focusing on the speck in somebody else's eye when there might be a log in your own. Clean up your side of the street first. That's what he's saying. Begin with us. That we have to begin with who we are. And are we in integrity? Are we in the energy of love? Are we in the energy of judgment or condemnation? So our opportunity is just to align with that truth within us. And the affirmation today is, my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father. Okay, so I think I've probably preached enough today. I apologize if I preached too much. But let's just take a moment. I especially want us to come together today in consciousness as we come into the awareness of that divine life of God that is living itself, that's perfect life, whole life, complete life, that is living itself in this moment as you and as me. And we choose in this moment, at least in this moment, to surrender any judgment, any condemnation, any fear, any state of unforgiveness. We choose to recall any of that energy back into our own awareness. And we call upon that life, the energy of the Christ, the power of love and light moving in us, through us, as us, to transmute any of that energy, to release any energy of fear or condemnation or judgment, and open us up to the awareness of love, the presence and the power of love moving in us and through us and as us in this moment. And in that way, we become radiating centers of that Christ light, the light of love. Feel that energy now radiating in your heart, radiating in every aspect of your being. See yourself as this energy field glowing with love. You may even see it as a beautiful red energy. Some people see it as a pink energy. Some people may see the Christ energy as a golden white energy. You may just see beams of all of those colors and frequencies radiating out from your heart and from every aspect of your being. See that energy now radiating out into Boulder, radiating to everyone who is affected by this event that occurred yesterday, radiating out to all of the families of those who died in that incident, radiating to the one who was the shooter, radiating to the family of the one who was bearing the gun. You become this radiating center of love, and knowing that the love radiating in you, through you, as you, is the power that transforms, is the power that releases judgment, is the power that harmonizes, is the power that heals, is the only true power in the universe. And you know in this moment that you are a radiating center. You are a being of that light and love as you radiate that love to all concerned. Radiate that energy out into the city, out into the state, out into the country, out into the world. Just see the entire globe just enfolded in this energy frequency of love. For you are the embodiment. You are the embodiment in every aspect of your energy field of the divine light of the love of Christ, the love of God, the truth. And it is that truth, being in the awareness, the conscious awareness of that truth, that sets you free. And the consciousness of that truth that allows you to withstand anything that might occur in the outer, knowing that you have a firm foundation, and knowing that your house cannot be disturbed. So we claim this truth together. We claim it for each other. We claim it for all creation. We know this truth. This is our safety and our security. This is our well-being, the source of all that is. We are grateful in the knowing, and we are grateful for the power of love in and through our lives and the lives of all those that we hold today. We claim this truth, we allow it to be, and as we allow it and claim it and be it, it does become so. And so it is. Amen. So once again, thank you for joining me today. You are in my heart. I feel your energy, and I'm so glad that you chose to join me today. And again, I'll be back tomorrow with another lesson from Mr. Fillmore. And just allow yourself to be in the energy of love today and to share that light and that love with everyone you come in contact with. Blessings, dear ones, blessings on your day, and I will see you tomorrow. And bye.